Hey everyone, welcome back to a very special edition of The Moment. It's our bonus show, Hot Minute, where we talk about pop culture. And I have my wonderful friend Jeffrey J here today, who just saw himself
I
on
did.
Hot Minute of the Moment trailer. And I'm realizing you've never seen that before. And I didn't get signed off from your team on that, but I hope you're okay with it. And then we can get right into it. Y'all, Jeffrey's been on the show before. You know, I love him. We love him. He is a longtime comedian and comedy writer. He is a writer for the Game Awards, featured in the New York Times, and is taping his upcoming special this month here in Los Angeles. So you can see him in other places than The Moment / Hot Minute. And I'm so excited that you're here today. What'd you think of the little clip with your intro?
I have not seen your new intro. That thing is fire.
Isn't it?
What? I
I
couldn't
know.
believe it. I was watching that thing in awe. You would have warned me. That thing is awesome.
Thank you. Vienna made it. So shout out as always to producer Vienna, who's here behind the scenes. It's so good. There's literally nothing
What
she
the
can't do.
heck?
I know.
That's crazy. That's insane.
I
That looks
know.
really good. And then I saw me, but at first I was like, damn, this thing looks awesome.
Well, you are a friend of the show, a friend in real life, and you have so many fun things going on. And one of the reasons that I have you here is like, first of all, there's so much we need to talk about because I did just introduce you to the lore that is Club Chalamet for the first
Yeah.
time. And we're going to talk about that. But I first want to talk about you have a show coming up that you're doing, and it's an hour-long comedy special.
Yeah.
And I'd love for you to oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, is that a Kennedy or what?
You know what?
It's at one of my favorite places, Dynasty Typewriter, on January 21st. Correct me if
Yep.
I'm wrong. January
It's great.
21st at 7:30 p.m. I'm your manager. So tell me a little bit about this show. I love a redacted, and you can too.
Yes. First of all, I love the way you did that because I've been actually like kind of bumping on how you say that, like, I love a blank and you can too, because it was originally named I Love a Republican and you can too. And I got some real bad pushback from people. And I think it might have been a blind spot for me because I know me, I know my mother, who the show is about, who is an amazing person who still identifies as Republican. Listen to me, as a transgender person, she's a Republican identifying person.
Yeah.
That's
Just
that's
who I've
how
always
we. Yeah, it's not her fault,
been.
and she didn't choose this. But she's also to like this will be revealed in the show stuff, but also somebody who did gay marriages in Texas and does name changes and gender changes and is equal rights and is not in support of certain people who are in charge of this country. So
Yeah. I mean, we had on former Representative Barbara Comstock, who is a who is a current Republican, but she was a representative from the great state of Virginia, and she is reminds me a lot of your mom in so many ways, and that I wish she had raised me. No, but she actually, one of the reasons we had her on is because she had written a really great piece on like how concerning it is that they're getting rid of DEI initiatives. And she is for, gay marriage. And she has so many problems with Trump and this administration and where her party is headed. But she also too, she started as a Democrat, and I know your mom is from a family of
Mm,
Democrats, and so it's like,
yeah.
but she's like, no, like this is who I am. My party has shifted, but my views are still the Republican Party that I first aligned with. And so I feel like it's a little similar to that if folks saw the Barbara Comstock episode.
Yeah, it's interesting too because so many, in the world of so many people going no contact, and things that we'll talk about later with Mel and everything. But it's like there is a bit of a difference between people who have this like old school idea, who genuinely just want the government to be more hands off and think that people should love who they love and don't want this crazy immigration and everything that's going on, who are they're having a problem with their identity too,
Yeah.
because it's hard to leave something that goes with religion. And when you're in something, you know it's hard to leave it. So anyways, there's the story's about me and my mother, and she's an amazing human, and she happens to be one of them.
Well, I guess like one of the things that came up for me when I saw that you changed the name of your show is like, swap that word, right? Swap Republican. Make it I love a Democrat and you can too. Make it I love a trans person and you can too.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that a lot of like people, when you actually get them one-on-one, regardless of like sort of what they say, maybe as a more right-leaning person about trans folks or whatever, I think most reasonable people who are on the right, if you talk with them one-on-one and they're like, oh, by the way, you love a trans person.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. I do. I do.
That's how this started, because that used to be the thing that people would say is like, you probably love a gay person. You probably love a trans person. So I did it with Republican. And to me also, the love in it, that was so important to me, because this is a story about love and it's insanely funny. It's 20 years of material in my life with my mother and a little touch on addiction and such as well. But like the love part is important. And somebody called me, one of my conservative friends, and she was wildly offended by the title. And I was like, there's nothing in my mind. There was nothing offensive in that title. All I'm saying is Republican. I'm not saying anything else. I'm saying I love this person and you can too. And it really hit me.
Also, just going to throw this out there. It is, in fact, a comedy special.
Yes.
That's like the one thing. Like, it'd be one thing if you're like, I'm writing an academic research paper and this is what I've named it. But it's like, like it does feel, but okay, you listen, you live and you learn, you listen, you redact it. And I think I'm really excited. I've been honored to see you sort of workshopping many pieces of this over the last year, and even more so, more fully baked out. And so I think it's a really important story to tell. I just want to let you know you're getting shout outs in the TikTok chat from V from Under the Desk News.
Oh yes, I love V. Oh my gosh,
yeah, so and V loves you right back. They're amazing.
My God, V's suits and shirts. My dream is to just, I guess I kind of want to be a man, but I also just want to dress like V. That's it. I just like that. My idea of success is dressing like V dresses.
I know, impeccable tailoring.
And the hair. Do you get a haircut every week? How do you afford it?
We're about to find. We got to find
out. Last thing I'll say real quick about this. I cannot wait for you to be there, because my mother is going to be there, and you don't know how much I talk about you to my mother. And I call you you're like, oh, there's a new woman you're going to adopt, Mom. Because my mom likes adopting women and then taking them shopping, because I stole her daughter from her. And so, and I'm like, oh, Mom, are you kidding me? Meredith would kill for you to put her in a pantsuit.
Oh, you don't understand. Actually, your family, if they're around, your mom and I at Bloomingdale's could really do some damage. I've actually been thinking about getting like a pale yellow pantsuit, like a pale yellow blazer, and with like, you know what I mean? Like very Easter, I actually kind of dress a little Republican coded, guys. And you know what? That's okay. Like, that's the other thing.
You know what it is? It's money.
That's the fucking point, but God knows I don't have it. So Vienna's going to throw up that graphic again, just so people can see it. We're so excited about this. And by the way, my sister Nora is in the chat saying, don't forget about me. Don't forget me.
Don't worry. My mother knows a lot about adoption. She was a judge for a while. She refuses to split up siblings. So you'll come too.
Don't worry. Shout out to Nora is in the banner right now.
You're both going to both going to Dillard's.
Can't wait. Oh, I love Dillard's. I've only been there like twice because they don't really have them out here. But every time that I went, I was like, this is fucking sick. And every time that I went, my auntie took me. It was good. Well, we're excited for your show. But you know who else is excited about another show? Not your
I
show.
can't,
They're excited
I
about the
can't
Academy
wait.
Awards. My hyperfixation, Club Chalamet. And so
Oh,
Vienna's going to pull this up, but I want to just first of all, I just want to ask you, like, had you heard of Club Chalamet before? And then we'll get into like who Club Chalamet is for the kids at home.
no, I have no idea. I have a little. I was sent a little snippet, and I had no idea that it was a person.
Yes. Which I kind of love that Club
Yeah.
Chalamet like is an entity, not an individual. Club Chalamet is a super fan of Timothy Chalamet. And the interesting thing about her is that for years she was a super fan of Michael Fassbender. Yeah, and like ran online groups about him. And then, if I'm remembering this correctly, he got married and that like bothered her. That was like the end of it for her.
Oh,
So, anyway, she became obsessed with Timothy after he was in Call Me by Your Name, which is like deservedly so. Great film, great actor. But she goes a step too far in
mm,
everything that she does. No, actually, a step is being really generous. Basically, Club Chalamet is so obsessed with Timothy that she believes that Kylie is actually a stalker. Kylie Jenner, his partner of 3 years, is actually a stalker who has like wormed her way and delusioned Timothy into like being in his life
oh
and
my
really
God.
going to keep him from Club Chalamet's goal, which is to get Timothy an Academy Award. And I also want to
Um,
add, like, there's nothing wrong with being this age, but there's something a little odd about a 59-year-old woman who basically like follows a boy named Timothy around.
yeah.
Um, and so I'm a little obsessed with her. And also, the other thing that I'll say is like, she's really mean and really not nice, and she's a serial blocker, and like you like she's not a nice person.
Oh my,
um
the
she's
mom jeans.
right. This was a profile that was done on her in the Wall Street fucking Journal.
Oh my God.
Right.
Okay.
So
This is insane.
anyway, if you could, now that you know a little more, if you could describe Club Chalamet in one word based on what I've just told you, what would the word be and why?
Okay. I'm not going to be able to do the impression, but I think of 50. You remember the Molly Shannon character where she is 50 years old and kicking, and she's
Yes.
like doing things outside of her body that you shouldn't?
Yes.
She feels like that embodiment of that Molly Shannon character. I wish I knew the name of that character.
We'll find the name for you. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really interesting to me. And I think like one of the things that it brings up for me is like if this was a man obsessing over, let's say, Kylie, Club Chalamet follows him everywhere he
I don't
goes.
like this.
I mean, it would be Sally O'Malley. That's what Vienna said.
That's it. Sally O'Malley. Great job. Vienna's killing it.
Oh, Vienna's the real star of the show.
Ugh.
But I think about this a little bit about the, sort of the concerning around, do we laugh about this because Club Chalamet is a woman and women inherently seem less scary than men? Yeah.
I don't know. Let's not forget. And look, I'm from Texas, so I was in the cultural world of and South Texas, which was like I remember Selena.
Oh,
And
exactly.
that was a woman. It was an older woman who
Yeah.
not sorry,
Selena
I don't mean older by older, but
No,
I
but
mean
like, I
a
mean,
different woman
yes,
between them and a super fan.
right. And so that's where it's like, oh, this is a little strange, but then also the like sassy little like Meredith and me can't help but be like, I don't know if there's something, I don't know if it's like the fact that she calls herself Club Chalamet. It reminds me of that game that the kids I used to babysit would play called Club Penguin.
Yes.
Like there's something so, I don't know. And I guess at this point, like Timothy doesn't have a restraining order against her. The Kardashians really watched their backs. And so I think that maybe,
Okay.
yeah, I think maybe they realized that Club Chalamet isn't like a real threat. So
I have
that's
a
okay.
teensy bit of insight on this because I know a
Please
couple
tell
of like pretty big actors.
Yeah.
And these actors have their super fans that create their blank accounts, like the blank fan accounts or whatever.
Yes.
And they become like these valuable resources to them. And in
Right.
fact, sometimes their family will leak the super fans info because they
Right.
know, and it's like an unpaid, it's like the best PR in the world without ever having to pay for it. So there is this weird line that some people like. I can't wait to have a super fan that I can leak information to.
It could be vague.
I wasn't with somebody years ago made me a Wikipedia page. And it's the reason I have it because you can't create your own, you can't edit your own. There's some like weird rules
Right.
about Wikipedia. You can't pay for it. So somebody made it. They got all this stuff wrong on it. And I'm like 2 years younger.
Keep it that way.
I'm like, thank you. And whoever, I wish I knew. I never found out who this person was. I wish I knew. I would
What if
have
it was Club
sent you the
Chalamet?
world.
What if it was
What?
Club Chalamet?
Oh, please give me a Club Jeffrey J.
Kind of has a good ring to it. So I also think, this is all part of Timothy's quest for the Oscar, and that is her ultimate goal. So perhaps if he wins an Academy Award for Marty Supreme, she will be done with this. Did you see Marty Supreme?
No.
No, me neither. I'm really bad about going to the movies.
I know, but I kind of get turned off on like white men who can do anything and take a chance because there's no stakes.
Yeah. How do you feel about Timothy?
I think he is fine. I really think he's fine. I bet he would be lovely to chat with. I have zero against him, but I think he's fine. But also, he's like a young kid. Like I'm a Matt Bomer fan. If I'm gonna root for somebody, it's gonna be Matt Bomer.
Yeah. Well, here's my thought on him. He is not from any type of like money or wealth or like huge privilege. He grew up in like this kind of like public housing that the city of New York had designated for people who like were artists, so that like people who were actual creatives could live in New York City. And his parents had like, his mother, I think, was like an artist, but they were not wealthy at all.
Yeah,
They grew up in like a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City.
Yeah.
So, and he went to the LaGuardia Arts School, which is a public high school in New York that like, and so I will say this, like, I do think he loves his craft and I think he works hard at it. And so it's like, sometimes I think like if we're going to make a white guy famous, maybe he's a good one. I do think the linking up with Kardashians is weird, but I also think that Kylie's really weird. So right?
Yeah.
Oh, Vienna's telling us that LaGuardia High School rejected her, by the way.
Oh, okay. We're done with Timothy now.
Right? Exactly. Well, let's see. So next up, we have a couple of other stories I'm so excited to talk about, and I'm going to remember them in just a second. The next one I want to talk about is, did you know, do you like to dance?
I love to dance.
Same. You know who else loves that? You have that in common with our president, Donald J. Trump. He loves to dance.
I think about it regularly.
What's so funny is it's like, in the last 72 hours, it's like, and we won't get into the politics of it, but it's like, we removed a dictator from Venezuela. So much is going on. And then yet Trump still finds time to go and talk to the press about his dance moves. And so I think that Vienna has a clip for us of this, of Trump talking about
By the way,
his
my
dancing.
wife hates when I do this.
Oh my God.
She said, she's a very classy person, right? She said, it's so unpresidential. I said, but I did become president.
I mean, that is genuinely
she hates when I dance.
And I hate that.
I said, everybody wants me to dance. Darling, it's not presidential. But she says, darling, please, the weightlifting is terrible. And I have to say this, the dancing they really like.
The weightlifting.
She said they don't like it, they're just being nice to you. I said, that's not right. The place goes crazy. They're screaming, dance, please. But the weightlifting, but no, the girl gets up. And you see, I want to be more, but I have somebody watching.
Do I now?
I want to be more effusive.
About
I
weightlifting,
want to really, yeah.
like Melania.
Yeah, that's a great question because then I saw some of this and I didn't know, and I think he's talking about women weightlifters, which is why are you just choosing people to turn on you?
Like, so, and also too, it's like, sir, are you familiar with osteoporosis? Like, people need to lift weights. This is a thing. I think one of the things that I was thinking about is, I won't say his name because, you know, we've got 50 people watching. And so I don't want people to go down the rabbit hole. But when I was in high school, there was a kid and he would rap. And we would, not just me, a lot of people would egg him on to rap. And I'll sing one of his songs. One was Carolyn. She was from Maryland. She gave me heroin. The other one was from Wisconsin, Miss Thompson. She put lips on my Johnson. So we used to be like, rap. And I feel like it's the equivalent of when people tell Trump to dance.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I agree. I have a take on Donald Trump's dancing. I genuinely think it's good. Like he created an iconic, like, Elaine style dance.
Yes.
And that's hard to do.
Yes.
And he committed to, like, that's the dance. And if you did it out and about, I think you'd be like, oh, you're doing the Trump. Boy, bad person in so many ways. But when it comes to marketing and branding, even at the expense of yourself, he does it.
Can you believe that's the thing that Melania gives him feedback on? Like that. I know that, like, deporting children from their parents is bad, but, like, what about the dancing?
Oh, God. That's so funny. It's the one thing that she can, like, rib him on and know that it won't turn into a fight.
I also guess, like, what is he now? 79 years old? Around that.
Yeah, honestly, that's the safest dance.
That's what I mean. Like, how do you want to, like, what do you want a 79-year-old to do? Like, I don't know, break dance?
Yeah. I would love to see him dance, like an old video of him dancing. I bet he still did this, though.
That's true. I mean, the thing is, he does, like, we talk about finding moments of joy. He does seem like he's joyful when he does this.
Yeah.
So John Jones, who really, like, he hates my lives. The other day, he was like in here. He's like, you can't even get 100 people. I'm like, I'm happy when I have 10. But John Jones says, can you imagine Biden dancing? And it's like, no, I can't. Because
no one's asking anyone to dance.
Right? Like, and if he did dance, I think it would probably be a lot like this.
Yeah. And again, it gives him something to talk about that isn't the actual stuff that he's doing. It's a really powerful tool.
Yeah, John Jones is, Vienna saying John Jones is Trump's Club Chalamet. Biden is stiff as a board. I mean, yeah, although I watched him come down very sad. You know, and we were sending love to our pal Jack Schlossberg this week and in the coming weeks. But I did see Biden go down the stairs yesterday at the very, you know, tragic funeral of Tatiana Schlossberg, who passed away last week. I saw Biden go down the stairs, and you guys, he was going down those stairs just fine. So, and also crying at the same time. So, like, you know, what
that's hard to do.
Exactly. He's an 82-year-old man, you guys. And he's also not the president. Like, that's like the biggest piece here is, like, imagine if, like, you know, 2 years ago, we were just talking about Jimmy Carter like this all the time. Like, hey guys, imagine Jimmy Carter dancing. It's like, oh, he's actively in hospice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Trump's dancing is part of his thing, and I think that the weightlifting is just I don't know where the weightlifting came from, but if you're going to criticize Melania for something, I wouldn't start with the weightlifting.
Yeah. Also, I would love to see Melania dance. It's got to be so stiff.
Yeah, I mean, Melania, I don't know if you saw the clip, but Melania and Trump at New Year's Eve, which, like, of course, this aged terribly, but they were like, "Hey, Trump, like, what's your New Year's resolution?" And he was like, "Peace, peace on earth," which, by the way, that's not really a New Year's resolution. Like, I don't think you understand how New Year's resolutions works, but that's like a whole other thing.
Boy.
And then, of course,
he doesn't know. He's never had to change any. He never thought he had to change anything. So
that's true. And then Melania makes this face when he says it, where she's like, and then she corrects that face real fucking quick. Speaking of faces, I want to talk a little bit about my girl, Bethenny Frankel. You know Bethenny from many of my stand-up routines, and I talk about Bethenny a lot. You know, Bethenny is a former Real Housewife of New York. She also famously said that she was going to sue me, and did send me a very bogus cease and desist that said, if you tell anybody that I sent you this letter, you're going to be subject to more penalties from me, which is actually, I've talked to a couple lawyers and they're like, yeah, her lawyer could be not disbarred, but her lawyer could be like penalized for that. I'll bring it to your
Whoa.
But I just wanted to talk about this because she, over the last couple of days, she's been in St. Bart's and she did contract an eye infection, but she also was spending time with another person who has me blocked, and that is Lauren Sanchez.
Oh boy.
So I guess my question for you is like, how does Bethenny Frankel, who hasn't been on a TV show in like probably close to 6 years now, get a Page 6 press thing about having an eye infection?
This is fascinating. I will say this. I read this. I don't ever like read these types of things. So this is why I love being on your show, because you introduced me to these worlds that I don't know about and that I love so much. And this is exactly how I get my news, by the way. When I watch things, I watch YouTube recaps of like entire things that happen long after they're done. Like I like to watch YouTubers who have been canceled. I never knew about them, never heard about them. And then it shows me their rise to fame and their crash and where they are now. That's how I like.
Do you know about this? There is, Vienna's going to have to help me in the chat. There is a YouTube creator named like Tim. Oh my God, what's his name? YouTube creator named Tim. This is going to drive me insane. Tim creator. We can come back to it. But basically, I confused this internet creator with like this comic who was like fired from SNL.
Okay.
This is going to drive me insane. Vienna, you can help me in the chat with this. We'll get back to Bethenny. But for the last like 3 years, I thought they were the same person. And so anytime that anybody talked about this comic, I thought they were talking about this like disturbing YouTuber. And I couldn't and the comic is a little controversial, but like I couldn't believe the amount of people in my life who were like, yeah, I saw him, or oh, like that actually that he did was kind of funny. And I kept thinking like, God, these people are like fucking obsessed with this like disturbed YouTuber. And then found out that they were two different people, and it's gonna drive me insane, but I'll figure it out. Okay, so maybe the chat will help me. I feel like the chat knows me better than anybody else. But yeah.
All right. So back on this. So when I was going through this article, what was amazing to me was this whole article was about how she decided that she didn't want to show her 15-year-old like this is what life is like, as it's lush and glamour and it's all rich people just trying to be rich, and every single section of it was accompanied by a picture of her and her family looking perfectly gorgeous and glamorous. It was so funny watching her go like, this is not what I want. Picture glam. And I want her to know that the world isn't like this. Glam picture.
I know.
Them on the beach.
I think that it's interesting that you say that, because I think the thing with Bethany that's interesting is like, I think this is so when Bethany got famous, there wasn't this like level of wealth that we have now, right? Like
Mm.
people, she got famous in like the like mid 2000s, like 2005-ish, 2006. And we didn't have these like huge celebrities that, you know, we didn't like Jeff. I didn't know who fucking Jeff Bezos was. I knew what Amazon
Mm.
was. I didn't know who Jeff Bezos was. Okay. I didn't know who Elon Musk was. So what happened is huge, enormous wealth became equated with celebrity. So
Mm.
back in the day, if you went to St. Bart's, it was like Bethany Frankel would have been the biggest deal on that fucking island, because like she would have had wealth and she would have had status. But now it's
Ah,
like, I feel like Lauren Sanchez is there. And so
right.
Bethany's knocked down a peg, right? Whereas she used to be sort of like, but now Lauren Sanchez is a celebrity. We didn't used to know the
Right.
faces, names of the really
The
like
billionaire
billionaire
girlfriend.
behind closed doors. And now we do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating.
And so I think it's like for her, I think there's like a level of humility to not be the most famous person at the hotel or at the, you
Mm.
know, party or whatever, or the wealthiest person, etc. And so I think that's really what this is about. And so then the way that it, oh, there they are, then the way that it gets framed is like, oh, I just want to like show my daughter the reality. And then it's also like, so where does the eye infection come into it? And so I think it's like
Yeah.
her PR team was like, what can we throw out there? We want to, I also think like, will she recover?
Yeah. Dude, you know what? Here's the thing that I'm fascinated with. The infections and diseases that the hyper rich get from locations. Because, like, you know, the reason that so many people who are high status get Lyme disease is because of like Connecticut. And
Just a whole state with tall grass.
yeah, it was like
Connecticut
what, like
tall grass.
when people are going to like these areas, so it's like there's like a bunch of diseases that are like, it's kind of, to me, it reminds me of like in royal times where it's like, why are all these elites dying? Well, it's because of the inbreeding. And they're like, well, it couldn't be that. Or it
Right.
couldn't be the locations that we've chosen that have these infections that we're choosing to ignore.
Right.
Fascinating.
I think that's a really good point. I think for me, like my elite thing is like I once got neurovirus from the bathroom at the Newark airport. And like that for me, that's an elite thing. Newark airport, that's pretty elite for me. But I think you're so right. There's one
I
last, oh, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Nothing. I'm just saying, like, I got bed bugs from a PJ.
Right,
Uh,
exactly.
we all shared the private jet, and it had bed bugs. And all of the private jets had bed bugs at that time.
um, I I think this is a great point, actually. I think you need to spend more time with this. Like the rich people, and it's also stuff that it's like it's low stakes. Somebody in the chat is saying, and like I don't know if I should say this because like she'll probably try to sue me again, but somebody's saying in the chat, um, she some blind item said Bethany was giving people chlamydia in St. Bart's. It's like, wait, how? Like, was she like walking up with, like, was she inoculating people? Like, how is she? What is she just running around? How do you? I don't even know
That's
how one.
too simple. You have to think bigger. It's too simple and easy. It's an experimental eyelash treatment is what happened. You can't just go base level humor here.
Right.
This is You think the Bezoses are using the regular lash extensions? Mm-mm.
Nope,
This
absolutely
is
not.
genetically modified. Like someone did a. We've been to the big parties. You ever been to one of those parties where they're just giving Botox in the back?
No,
I
that's my
have.
goal. Okay. And by the way, guys, I thought your girl thought she had figured out a fucking hack because I went to go get Botox the other day and I noticed that Dysport, which is like the other, like the competitor to Botox, I was like, oh, it's like, so Botox is like 15, but let's say Botox is 15 a unit.
Yeah.
Dysport is $5 a unit. So I was
Yeah.
like, why the fuck have I been getting Botox? So I was like, all right, I'm going to get Dysport this time. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I actually want to try Dysport. And they were like, oh, okay, yeah, fine. I thought, oh, they're going to try to talk me out of it because it's like, they won't make as much money. But they were like, oh, no, that's great. Let's do it. Then I get the fucking bill at the end. Well, turns out you need like double the amount of Dysport.
Yeah.
So it's like 6 of one, half a dozen of the fucking other. But you
Yeah.
know, all that matters is I can't move my face again. And that's what I really care about. Like, how do you feel about things like Botox and fillers?
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
I will talk about this in this comes up in the special, but like my mother, I got a healthy level of vanity from my mother. She said she was at a political event and someone walked up and said, like, I cannot believe that you have had no work done and you look that good for 60. And my mom leaned over to me and she goes, you know, the trick is to get a little bit of plastic surgery. A lot.
Right. Yeah. Just little tweaks.
Nobody knows. She says, nobody knows I'm getting plastic surgery because I'm getting a little bit constantly.
Right. Exactly. And then it's like lesser downtime, etc. I think you guys, I might kick it up a notch. And get a little more of a procedure this year in 2026.
I got a chin implant.
Well, that's not far off from what I want. I like, and so I get filler in my chin.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I get filler in my chin, but also too, it's kind of like, I don't know if I'd get it. I mean, like that chin implant is something I've thought about because it's kind of like at a certain point you're like, oh, well, like I just keep getting filler every 2 years. So like maybe listen, sometimes it's about budgeting.
Yeah, it's so easy. My mom will hook you up with the good. Hers was,
honestly, I've actually looked at going to other states to get certain procedures done because they're so much more affordable, like Arizona and
Texas, and they have tons of the medical facilities there. So like even though there's like students, they're the best of the best because they're all in like this elite training.
Yeah.
Texas plastic
Love
surgery.
To hear it. Well, you know, speaking of moms, let's talk for a couple of minutes about Mel Robbins, because, you know, I have a lot of opinions on Mel Robbins, and recently Mel Robbins came out and did a piece it was an opinion piece in the New York Times, which, like, by the way, I also think like a lot of people are like, how irresponsible of the New York Times to publish this. I'm like, well, you know what? It is a fucking opinion piece. And so like that, like, if we don't allow that, if we don't like it, just keep that in mind. But basically she did this opinion piece and it was right before Thanksgiving, which I think was quite timely. And it was basically life is too short to fight with your family. And that if you are somebody who has gone no contact, you're going to end up regretting it. It's not healthy and like, it's not okay. And your parents' lives are short. And I don't know if you had a chance to read that article. It came out a couple months ago, but I would love like any reactions to just what I've thrown at you, especially like being a trans person, being in that community with a lot of other people, even though your experience might be different and in like your individual family system.
Yeah. But here's the thing. And this is what's so important. I think, my special is not telling anyone to be friends with or have their family in their life. Yeah. My special is about the fact that I have an amazing mother who also has this little thing, but when it comes to like the baseline of human decency and what she believes in and all of this stuff does not align with any of the hatred. Right. And I know a ton of people have gone out of contact and it is the right thing to do, especially depending on the circumstances. To me, it felt like a blind privilege piece where it's like, well, this stuff doesn't touch me. Like you haven't dealt with the things like SA and the many things that are legitimate
reasons. There's a difference between like being mad at your parents because like they're divvying up the will differently, and mad at your parents because they don't accept your identity or they don't accept your partner's identity. Like those are very different things. Or there's like, you know, like maybe your parent voted for Trump, but maybe they also like, you know, do like, you know, maybe they do, you know, believe in gay marriage or believe like, so it's like, it's so nuanced and complicated. And I also think like, yeah, you're right. Like the essay piece, like, and also too, safety. Like for some
Yeah.
people, like
Dude.
just even physical safety for
Yep.
some people.
Family is just blood, and in being in the queer community for so long, there
Yeah.
are so many hateful. I mean, I grew up with people whose families were sending them to gay conversion camps,
Right.
and like that was when I was in high school, which so that is not that long ago. So I can feel young.
3 weeks. Congratulations, Jeffrey. Jeffrey graduated in the December graduation.
Yeah, just a couple of years ago. There was, so this was 20 years ago, but there was 4 billboards in our town for the gay conversion camps. And I knew 2 people whose families sent them there. Like, this is not okay. This is not safe.
Right.
So Mel, like, for a person who's going around the world, by the way, I'm a little peeved about it too, because I've been on planes a lot lately and I cannot stop, like the Green Let Them book, even if it's a good idea. Look, I can't, there's too many let thems on planes right now.
Yeah, I agree. There's too many people. Here's the thing. I think the problem, like, let's look at this from like a let them, I think, is supposed to tell 65-year-old women that they can be fucking assholes to their kids. Okay. And then the op-ed piece is supposed to tell the 35-year-old kid that it's okay that your mom is a fucking asshole to you. And now her new thing is a fucking protein line. So almond moms can have a new thing to shame you about.
By the way, here's my hot take on this. I think protein shakes and drinks are the new alcohol line for celebrities. That's it. Alcohol's out.
Alcohol is out. As 2 people who don't drink, alcohol is out, first of all. And in California, like California is shockingly like California sober in the sense that I think a lot of people use other substances, but they don't drink. And so, yeah. And I'm with you. And I also think I think 5 years from now, we're going to be having a conversation about like, dude, like it was kind of weird how much protein we were like forcing on people. Like, you know how like everything will have a moment, like remember, like it's going to be like the Atkins, or like when everyone was like, you gotta be eating soy, like you gotta have milk. And then all of a sudden it's not. I think people are going to be like, oh, okay, like that's maybe like enough protein. But yeah, I think protein has become a buzzword, and it's also like, oh, it's very filling. And I mean, those are all great things. And I think like when women are in menopause, they need more protein, which completely makes sense. So she's just getting into all these spaces. I also think like another area of this is like the addiction space. And like, you know, if you have a family member who has an addiction, and also not just that, but like something that happens in the addiction world is that somebody will get sober, but then the family doesn't know how to respond to them. So then family systems don't get better because they're used to that person being the addict, and they get very uncomfortable when that person is not the addict. Like you would be shocked how much this happens. And so like, for not just the person who maybe had addiction or is inactive, like that relationship can be just as harmful. So I don't know. And also too, it's like, if the let them theory says like, just let people do what they want, then like, if people want to go no contact, you should just let them go no contact.
Absolutely. I think that's a huge, like, I think that's the best takeaway of this, which is like, you have a whole thing that says like, let people do what they like. Going no contact seems like the most let them.
Like, yeah, right. Exactly.
You can't control that. So take yourself away from it.
Right.
Yeah.
The other thing too is when anyone pushes back on the let them theory, she goes, oh, that's where you use let me.
Oh no, I hate it. No.
She's like, it's just all so awful. And then you top it off with, I think she did is I think she went to CVS. She dumped out a bunch of 5-hour energies and she just filled them up with protein shakes.
Yeah. And then she said, there's nothing else on the market like it, which is like, also too, there's certain people I trust. There's a guy, Luke Cook, who's one of my favorite comedians in the whole, like he's such a funny actor and TikToker. Yeah. He has his own protein thing. By the way, I love him so much. I trust him, and he is so ripped, so hot, so funny. I will buy. I haven't yet. I will buy his protein. I hope he finds this clip and uses it as advertising, because like I trust him. Mel Robbins,
Show
who do I
sponsor?
trust for your protein?
Right? I mean,
Why?
but it's all part of, like, if she looks at who her customer base is, she looks at her customer base and she goes, okay, my customer base likes XYZ. This is what they're doing in their life. This is how they spend their time. And it always ends up in protein and unhealthy family dynamics.
Yep. I think you're so close on the 5 Hour Energy, but I think it actually is used Activia.
That's the other thing. Remember, it was all probiotics for a while. It was all it's with probiotics, and now it's like fermented Activia, and now it's fucking protein. And it's like, what's gonna be next? Like, what is gonna be the next thing? Folic acid? Like, what could possibly? I'm gonna go look at a list of ingredients on something and pull out the new thing. So
with all, I don't have time to get all this protein and these peptides in me. I'm shotted out both this way and this way. Like I can't put anything else in my body.
I know. I mean, I've got the time. I just don't really have the time.
I love that you're like, I'm not too busy.
Yeah,
I'm just tired of it.
Vienna's telling us that gastro doctors are begging people to eat fiber with all the protein maxing. Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to see like the great protein rejection and the great fiber backswing.
That's it. I haven't eaten protein in years, and look at how great I'm doing.
Right? That's true, because you're pretty vegan, veggie based.
Yeah, great.
Well, Jeffrey, remind our friends at home where they can see you on January 21st, because this is such an exciting show.
January 21st at Dynasty Typewriter in Los Angeles. One night only. I'm taping my special. And then otherwise, I'm Hey Jeffrey J on everything. And I pop on here anytime you have me.
We always love having you, Jeffrey. We're so excited for your show. I love a redacted, and you can too. So fill that. That's whatever it means to you, right? Like that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
You guys, I love a Mel Robbins fan, and you can too.
Yes. I love this.
You guys, everybody have a great day. We'll be back on Friday. We will have a great guest, and we will also have a guest co-host. Rebecca will be back, and then our guest co-host is the fabulous Lori Kilmartin. So we can't wait to see you. Fun guest co-host.
That's going to be so much fun.
I know. We can't wait. And I'm sure Jeffrey will tune in. Okay.
Right.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.